excuse me, and the crew at Dinosaur Adventure Land, September 6, 2023. Tonight we're going to be whacking Dr. Richard Gashmu Dawkins again. He doesn't get it. We'll help him, okay? We're the place where God gets the glory for his creation. Join us on Rumble. That's really growing, that channel is. Genesis Baptist Church on YouTube until they shut us off for some reason. And then Odyssey, you can always get us there. And they're all listed on drdino.com. If anybody's coming this way from Lancaster, Ohio, and wants to bring a young ex-Marine down here, he wants to come help us work for a while. So give me a call, 855-BIG-DINO, extension 3, and say, I'm coming there from Lancaster. I'll give him a ride. So that's what we're looking for. Okay, let's see. Tonight, did I get the blue box right? Look at that. I did. The 30th. No, August. September. There we go. September 6th. I forgot to hit the Alt-D-H, hide slide. Never mind. Okay.
Make them all blue.
Make them all blue. Richard Dawkins, the greatest show on earth. Really? He believes in evolution. We're going to fix that again tonight, or try. If you want to support our ministry, join our 777 Club. Go to drdino.com. Say, I like what they're doing. I'm going to help them keep going. $1 a day if you can. We don't ever check up on it or don't send you dunning letters. If you want to help, great. If you don't, get out of the way. We're going to do it anyway. Okay, we're going to go win souls. But make any checks to CSE. Let's see. Oh, Yamasee. I told about that one last time. Okay, never mind. Whack an atheist. Whack-a-mole. You're really going to have that set up here, brother? We can play whack-a-mole right here?
Yes, sir. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, okay. This is a game we play at Dinosaur Adventure Land based on the whack-a-mole game. Richard Gashmu Dawkins is going to get whacked again tonight. In the whack-a-mole game, the object is to wait till the mole sticks his head up and then whack him back down. And so you can get the most in a minute or something. I've never played it, brother. Have you played it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, he sticks his head up. See how fast you can whack him back down. Small children can learn to love and play whack-a-mole. Well, we decided to do whack an atheist. Oh, I told about that sign already. Adults love whack-a-mole. And whack an atheist, you wait for an atheist to stick his head up and say something silly about his evolution religion, and it's nothing but a religion. There's no science for evolution. And whack him back down sweetly with Christian love, of course. We've whacked a few atheists a few times, and they've learned to keep their head down. Richard Dawkins has not learned that yet. So some must be whacked over and over and over, and I really enjoy doing it. Can you do a better job of photoshopping that in, brother?
I'll try, Doc. That's pretty good.
My head. Anyway, the winner tonight, Richard Gashmu Dawkins. We talked about this for the last 4 weeks in a row. Nehemiah was told to go build a wall around Jerusalem. God told him to do so, and he was doing what God told him to do. They sent a man, one of the enemies sent somebody to say, oh, you can't build that wall. Gashmu said, you are rebelling. Very important man. Oh, yeah, Gashmu. Gashmu saith it. We talked about how the guy with the square hat and the yellow strings hanging from it, he's got to be important authority. Yeah. Oh, wow, he's carrying a stick. What do they carry the stick for? Anyway, got to be an authority. This is the appeal to authority. People say, well, Dawkins said it, therefore it must be true. Oh, really? I see. Okay. Ancestors tale. Here he is taking up at the 21-minute mark on a speech he gave at Duke University. Let me go over to that one right here and listen for a few minutes to Mr. Dawkins. Uh-oh. Let's see, right here. I thought I dragged it over, brother. What happened? According to evolution, things get better automatically, It's not giving me the play option. I must have only dragged the slide over. Let's see. Okay. Here we go. There we go. Okay. Technical stuff.
The type specimen of the genus was the so-called tawny child. At the age of 3.5, the tawny child was eaten by an eagle. The evidence is that damage marks to the eye sockets is the product of embryology when the genes are selected.
Here we go. I thought I had it right.
Specimen of Australopithecus africanus. Poor tawny mother weeping in the Pliocene.
No such thing as a Pliocene. Next
chapter.
The
next chapter is about embryology.
That's where I want to start.
Not directly evolution itself, but you can't avoid embryology because obviously what is actually evolving is the product of embryology. When the genes are selected, what we actually see in the real world is the product of an embryonic process. I'm going to read the first paragraph. That irascible genius, J.B.S. Haldane, who I've just quoted, by the way, who did so much else besides being one of the three leading architects of neo-Darwinism, was once challenged by a lady after a public lecture. It's a word-of-mouth anecdote, and John Maynard Smith is sadly not available to confirm the exact words, but this is approximately how the exchange went. Evolution skeptic. Professor Haldane, even given the billions of years that you say were available for evolution, I simply cannot believe it is possible to go from a single cell to a complicated human body, with its trillions of cells organized into bones and muscles and nerves, a heart that pumps without ceasing for decades, miles and miles of blood vessels and kidney tubules, and a brain capable of thinking and talking and feeling. JBS Haldane. But madam, you did it yourself, and it only took you 9 months.
So that's their illustration. Because you developed from a sperm and an egg in 9 months, therefore, that's evidence for evolution. Let me see here. How do I get to... close that down? No. There's another one, another video I had lined up. Is it true that embryology is evidence for evolution? You did it yourself in 9 months. That's chapter 8 of his book. So let's see. According to Justin Duggan, who hosts America's Truck Video, it takes 20 hours to build an F-150. Break that down further. Ford sends a complete F-150 truck down the line every 53 seconds. Henry Ford would be shocked how far his revolutionary assembly line has come. The process took about 12 hours to create a car. When Ford perfected the assembly line by using a combination of humans and machines, he reduced the time it took to build a complete Model T to 2 hours and 30 minutes. Very good. So let's see. I found a video on motor biscuit. Now, why isn't it showing as an option here for me, brother? Let me... close that one maybe, because I got the video ready to play, I believe. There it is. It's up there. Okay. Up on top of this. No, it was there. Say that louder. Okay. Can't read it. Can you read that second one? Okay. How long does it take? There. Good. Okay. And to play that, I got to go down to the button, the arrow. Nope. Human embryo development. I'm back in PowerPoint. How long does it take? There we go. To build a truck. Mr. Dawkins, it takes intelligent design to make the machines to build the truck and to make it come out right. And even then they have problems with them when they're done, don't they? So you are confused if you think the birth of a human is anything because you did it yourself in 9 months. It's a cute phrase. Is that it right here about a baby? Yes, okay. Let's try this one here. Imperial College in London. me skip some here. Anyway, you get the idea. To make a baby from 0 to 8 pounds in 9 months is stunningly complex. The truck did not make itself. The baby did not make itself. It's following a code. And for you to say embryology is evidence for evolution, to me, in my humble opinion, shows your complete desperation to believe that dumb theory. It's dumb, Richard. There is no evidence for evolution at all. It's following a plan to develop from a fertilized egg to a baby is following a complex plan. To make a truck from steel parts and put them together and make it run is following a plan. How on earth can you believe that is evidence for evolution? You did it yourself in 9 months. Then you talk about the arc of the continents being evidence for evolution. Let me go back to here and go. Well, I'll get back to my slides here. I better let Richard Dawkins talk for a minute. Hang on. You see the first one there, brother? I can't read it. Oh, okay, good. No, that's the one I'm just playing. Human baby, okay. How long does it take to assemble a truck? There we go. There's Richard. Hi, Richard. Okay. Keep talking, okay? There.
The next chapter is called The Arc of the Continents, and it's about the geographical distribution of animals.
He's talking about the chapters from his book that he wrote, okay, on this, the greatest show on earth, talking about all the evidence for evolution. And I'll debate you anytime and the whole college, anywhere you want, okay? Open challenge, anytime. There is no evidence for evolution. You are either illiterate in your science or lying. You know nobody's ever seen any animal change to a different kind of animal. Never, okay? You believe it. And there's no such thing as a fossil record. There's no such thing as a geologic column. No animal produces anything other than their kind. It just doesn't happen. You're dreaming, and you're destroying the faith of others.
And plants, and how that fits in precisely with what you'd expect if they had evolved.
So the way they're found on the continents fits exactly how they evolved. It would fit exactly with a worldwide flood. Animals would spread out, diversify. Let him talk a little more here.
It is almost too ridiculous to mention it, but I'm afraid I have to because of the more than 40% of the American population who, as I lamented in chapter 1, accept the Bible literally.
I'm glad you said accept the Bible instead of believe the Bible. See, we accept the Bible. You believe in evolution. Big difference. Okay? So 40% of Americans accept the Bible literally. Count me in. I'm one of them. All right? Go ahead.
Think what the geographical distribution of animals should look like if they'd all dispersed from Noah's Ark.
Okay, we will talk about that in just a minute. Go ahead, keep talking.
Shouldn't there be some sort of law of decreasing species diversity as we move away from an epicenter?
How would you know 4,400 years ago? Are you only going on fossils? What if the flood was over and the animals are spreading out and they're not leaving any fossils? Fossils don't form unless they're buried quickly. The flood probably made almost all the fossils in the world. How many animals died in the last 12 months in America, and how many are going to leave fossils? Millions died, and none are going to leave fossils. Richard, you don't understand. The Bible said there'd be scoffers like you who would be ignorant of the creation and the flood. 2 Peter chapter 3. Put your name in there, okay?
perhaps Mount Ararat. I don't need to tell you that that is not what we see.
You don't see because you don't want to see it, okay? You would not see evidence for this, animals spreading out. They don't leave fossils behind unless they're buried quickly. And you're so stuck on that stupid fossil record, you can't think outside that box, can you?
Why would all those marsupials, ranging from tiny pouched mice through koalas and bilbies to giant kangaroos and diprotodonts, why would all those marsupials, with no placentals at all, have migrated en masse from Mount Ararat to Australia?
Well, first, we don't know that's where all of them went. They might have spread out slowly from Noah's Ark over a few hundred years, have babies and grandkids and great-grandkids, and the ones that died in other parts of the world, we would not find them as fossils. However, some marsupial fossils are found in China. I Googled it today. Are they found anywhere else? Oh, yeah. So the fact that they all now live in, or did, that we moved them around, in Australia and New Zealand and those places, so what? I'll show you my Hovind theory on that. Let's see. Slideshow. There. Okay. Why are they only found in Australia? Well, kangaroos. Here is what the earth is broken up into plates. Nobody argues that. I think that happened at the time of the flood. The earth cracked open. The fountains of the deep broke open, and those fault lines are still here. And some of the plates are still moving around. That's from Noah's flood. Okay. Why do kangaroos live only in Australia? Institute for Creation Research, ICR, has a great article on that. The oldest marsupial fossil, which looks remarkably like a possum, comes from China. This geographical switch remains unexplained. There was no switch. Here's the article. Marsupial Origins, Paleontology Magazine. Let's see. Early Cretaceous geological layer in China. Oh, they've got the marsupial animals there. What about these unusual turtles, Galapagos turtles? Look at that weird thing over his neck on that one on the left there. Because he's got to put his head way up to eat the plants, okay? He's going to talk about these birds and the crabs and all that stuff, the kangaroos, the marsupials. How did the kangaroos get to Australia? Had a student ask me that years ago. I put together a slide presentation. The Bible says the mountains rose, the water rushed off into the low places from Psalm 104. The ice caps on this earth used to be obviously a lot bigger. There's overwhelming evidence the ice came all the way down to Kansas City, Missouri. Nobody argues about that. I think that happened at the beginning of the flood. We cover that on video number 6 of my award-winning seminar series, Creation Seminar Series, $50. Look at you're on the ball, brother. Scan that and do something, right? Okay. $50. Video number 6 covers all about this, what I'm going to share with you. Now, this is going to be complicated. If the ice caps were bigger, and we know they were, that means the oceans would be smaller because the water's frozen and stuck at the poles. If the oceans are smaller, that means the continents are bigger. No, and the animals could have walked anywhere in the world. It would take hundreds of years for that much ice to melt back. Let's see. The ice came all the way down to Kansas City, Missouri. Nobody argues about that. Let's see. Then it would take hundreds of years to melt back, and that's why we have a continental shelf. All over the world, the continents, you can walk out relatively shallow, sometimes for hundreds of miles. Then it drops off to what's called the deep part, or the abyss. If you lower the oceans a few hundred feet, that would be the beach line. Ireland, Scotland, England would be part of France, making the English very upset. Okay, here you can see it from a satellite. See the beach out there where it would have been? That's just lowering the ocean. Between Alaska and Russia, the land bridge would be thousands of miles wide. You could walk anywhere in the world. If you raise the oceans a few hundred feet, this is what it would look like. All that would be underwater. The little island, Appalachia, where they all talk funny. And if you lowered it, that would be Florida and Cuba connected. I think as the ice melted, Atlantic Ocean filled in, finally got deep enough, it spilled over between Florida and Cuba and probably washed out that gully and filled in the Gulf of Mexico. Pensacola Bay, Mobile Bay, 7 feet generally. If you lowered the oceans a few hundred feet, and they've already said, if the ice caps were as big as the evidence shows, the oceans would be 400 feet lower. Okay? Well, then you could walk anywhere in the world. You can walk to Australia. Walk to New Zealand. The more marsupials are generally less aggressive than other animals and would be driven to the migration fringe. So getting off the ark, they would spread out, and they keep moving away from the bad guys trying to take over their territory, and they finally end up in Australia. At the same time, ice caps are melting back, slowly raising the ocean levels. I cover a lot more on that on seminar part 6, the Hovind theory. What happened? But you claim all the birds, all the animals are related to a common ancestor. That's real dumb. Like, real dumb. Okay, let me go back here. Let him talk some more. Okay. Did I get it? Oh, yeah, look at that.
Which route did they take? And why did not a single member of their straggling caravan pause on the way and settle in India, perhaps, or China?
You don't know that they didn't. Let me explain it again. Animals don't leave fossils today. They might have settled in India, population and got wiped out. How many examples are there in history of animals going extinct in certain regions? Just Google extinction, lots of them. The dodo bird, the buffalo just about went extinct here.
China, or some haven along the Great Silk. Why did all the penguins undertake the long waddle south to the Antarctic?
Now keep in mind, this is a fella making fun of the Bible account of the Noah's flood and the ark because he doesn't understand how it worked. At the same time, he turns around and believes we all came from a rock, which came from a dot of nothing exploding. And you're laughing at our Bible account?
Not a single one to the equally hospitable Arctic. Once again, I'm sorry to take a sledgehammer to so small and fragile a nut.
Take a sledgehammer to a small, fragile nut. He says he's beating down on this creation Noah's Ark idea as if it's a small, fragile nut, and he's laughing at it. People have laughed at Christians for centuries. That's normal because they don't understand. But he believes he came from a rock, don't you, Richard? Did yours start off as a hot ball of rock and it rained and it cooled down? It rained on the rocks for millions of years, turned them into soup, and the soup came alive. That's what the textbook says. Do you believe that, Richard? Ultimately, get rid of all the fluff and feathers. You believe you came from a rock, don't you?
But I have to do so because more than 40% of the American people believe literally in the...
You have to crack that nut with a sledgehammer because 40% believe it literally. I have to crack the evolution nut with a sledgehammer because you guys believe you came from a rock and you want to teach that to children. I'm going to keep cracking too till I die.
Story of Noah's Ark. We should be able to ignore them and get on with our science, but become...
What science? What science shows a cow producing a non-cow? You make these charts, you put them in the textbook and say, wow, look at that, boys and girls. Everything's related. You call that science? There's no evidence for that whatsoever. This is something you believe. Frogs and humans. Richard, are you related to a frog? The textbook says you are. All the many forms of life on Earth today are descended from a common ancestor found in a population of primitive unicellular organisms. There's no such thing as a primitive unicellular organism. Then it says no traces of those events remain. Do you believe that? Do you believe these family trees that Richard Dawkins is related to a fern? You do, don't you? You talk about cracking a nut. I'm going to do the cracking around here, okay? Open challenge for a debate for you or any atheist or evolutionist anywhere in the world. Call Standing for Truth or call our tech guy here. What's your email, brother? You figured out?
Yeah, Dr.Dino.
Dr.Dino at drdino.com. D-R-D-I-N-O. And if you want to schedule a debate, contact Joseph. Anyway, back to Richard. Let him babble here for a few more minutes. All right, here.
Can't afford to, because they control school boards. They homeschool their children.
Wait. You're upset because Christians control school boards and homeschool their children. You guys control the curriculum, and you have your religion's the only thing taught in the textbooks. I got a collection of hundreds of them. I taught school 15 years. I know what's in your textbooks. And you're griping about some Christians wanting to control a school board and monitor what their kids are being taught? You hypocrite.
To deprive them of access to proper science teachers.
Deprive them of access to... You think it's proper to teach the kids they're related to a mosquito? You think that's proper science education? I don't.
And they include many members of the United States Congress.
Oh, what a shame. Some Congress people believe in creation. Oh, you think that's terrible, don't you? I think it's terrible that some people believe in evolution. I think it's terrible that there are professors in universities who believe in evolution and we're paying their salary to teach the kids they came from a rock. I think it's terrible there are public school teachers that believe in evolution. I think that's terrible. It ought to be stopped. Keep your religion at home. You can teach all the science without getting into origins. You can teach all the biology and all the anatomy. Boys and girls, this is the biceps, triceps, deltoid, flexors, extenders, sternocleidomastoid, masseter muscles, the frontalis muscles. You don't need it. Evolution's got nothing to do with anatomy. Nothing. Got nothing to do with biology. Just teach the science and get your religion out of the science. Okay.
Some state governors and even presidential and vice presidential candidates.
Oh, what a shame. So in other words, if you believe in creation, you're inferior and you shouldn't be elected to any office. I feel the same way about you guys who believe, capital B, believe in evolution. You shouldn't be allowed near children at all.
They have the money tax-free.
Wait. How many public schools, public universities pay taxes, Richard? Aren't they tax-free? Am I getting it right? And you're claiming Christians because they're tax-free at churches? Stop and think, you hypocrite.
And the power to build institutions, universities, even a museum, which...
So a creationist can't build a creation museum. How many museums around the world teach evolution? And they're tax-free? Something most built by taxpayer money. You hypocrite. Anytime, call me up, 855 BIG-DINO, I'm extension 3.
Children ride life-size mechanical models of dinosaurs with...
Don't they have that at the evolution teaching museums too? Come on now.
...samples, which they are solemnly told coexisted with humans.
They did. Kids in the public schools are solemnly told they did not coexist with humans. Somebody's wrong, aren't they, Richard? Call for a debate. Or any of you atheists that are watching. If I'm upsetting you, good. Call for a debate. I'll take you all on same time.
The next chapter, chapter 10, is called The Tree of Cousinship.
We got to take that another night, okay? The Tree of Cousinship. Let's see. Let me go back to his book chapter here. Back up. I should have marked the page number. Here is his book teaching. We came from for evolution. Started off, it's only a theory. Oh, no, it's a fact. No, it's not a fact. Depending what you mean by evolution. I'd say it's a fact that all 450 breeds of cows had a common ancestor called a cow. But it's not a fact that cows are related to ladybugs. It's not. You claim it's a fact. Dogs, cows, and cabbages. Right, dogs always produce dogs. Has anybody ever seen anything other than that? There are now, 339 recognized breeds of dogs by the American Kennel Association. I'd be willing to bet $5 they all came from a dog. But you believe dogs, cows, and cabbage have a common ancestor, don't you, Richard? And you lament the fact that that's not taught in Christian schools? And some Christian colleges don't teach evolution? You lament that fact? And you claim there's evidence for evolution? You think the whole earth fit in that dot smaller than a period, don't you? Don't you? Anyway, I get fired up over this, brother. I'm done. Okay. Any comments or questions? Why do kangaroos only live in Australia? That's where they ended up. Why do I only live in Lenox, Alabama? I can't live two places at once. I tried. I can't do it. Okay. Go ahead. We got comments or questions there, brother?
Yeah, we got you.
Gashmu gets it again. I love it. I don't want one.
We're missing out on the real thing.
Yeah. You think you can improve on what God did? Okay. No, I've not seen it, but I believe. Okay. Ken needs to re-upload this End Time series. I can't find the videos. YouTube decided to ban his account. Is that true? The Woe series?
I just heard that.
On video. By the way, you might be DVDs, which they can't ban. You're going to eventually have to sit home and watch DVDs of everything. We produce a lot of stuff, put it on DVD. Our whole series on the different impossibility of animals evolving, A, B, C. What is this one? D, E, F, A, B, C. Different. This was a fun series to do. Get it, take it home for your kids to watch. And it's all on Dr.Dino.com. We produce a lot of DVDs. Let's see, what is this one? Leviathan, the Fire-Breathing Dragon, Introduction to Algebra, Introduction to Earth Science. We got physical science. We got a ton of stuff out there. And you're going to wish you had a DVD player that worked on a DVD because you watch with the censorship that's coming. Okay. All right. Any more there, brother?
Yes.
Crybaby? I knew it. All vertebrate embryos, from human to chickens to fish, have a tail during early development. You are simply crazy to believe such a thing. You don't have a tail. Let me go back here to my slides and let me get seminar part 4, where I talk about the lies in the textbooks. And you need to watch that one, crybaby. Okay? Let's see. Seminar 4. It'll take just a minute. Okay? Seminar part 4. It's not responding. Okay. As the baby grows, the backbone grows first, and then the limb buds come off of it. Here we go. Seminar part 4. This idea of the human embryo having a tail is stupid. It is not true. It's part of the embryology baloney that Richard Dawkins wants to teach everybody. I'm sorry, Dawkins. Okay. Here we go. Embryology. Crybaby, apparently you've not watched my video series. It would save a lot of time if you would just watch that. Okay. Am I up on screen here? Let's see. It's coming. It's coming. Whoa. Alt-DV. Huh. Oh. There. Okay. Lies in the textbooks. Where's the embryology one? Gill slits, embryology. Okay. They will say the baby growing in the mother has a tail and gill pouches. This is pure baloney. Okay. Evidence of development for evolution. Similarity between early stages in development helped convince Darwin that they had some common ancestor. This was the strongest class of facts in favor of the theory, Haeckel said, called it the biogenetic law. Ontogeny recapitulates phylogeny. Fancy phrase. Ontogeny, the growth of the baby through different stages, like putting the truck together, different stages. I bet they put the frame together first before they put the windshield in. That'd be a good idea? That'd be a good idea. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. The presence of fish-like structures in embryos shows they develop from fish. What? It's as if the embryo retains a memory of its origin and copies them during its development. This is the stuff sick mind Freud relied on, two of his dumb theories he taught. Let's see. Does the baby have gills like a fish and a tail? No, crybaby, they do not. I'll show you. Let's see. We talk about the gills here. Get up to the tail part, okay? This all started with Ernst Haeckel and Darwin looking desperately for evidence for evolution. A dog embryo at 4 weeks and a human embryo, they faked the drawings and made them look alike. It never has a tail. It has the backbone is not developed yet. You still have a tailbone, okay? Right here. Tailbone, right there. Tailbone, biogenetic law. There we go. Still taught in college textbooks. Propaganda. Let's see. Haeckel. Those vertebrae sticking out past where the hip bone's going to be, they later develop into a part of the tailbone that holds muscles that allow a lot of different things like reproduction and defecation and good posture. It's got nothing to do with having a tail. You still have, I'll tell you what, crybaby, if you think the tailbone is vestigial and evidence for evolution, I will pay to have yours removed. Take me up on it. Come on. You really think that's evidence for evolution? You'll be a crybaby when that's done. Yeah, you're going to say, oh, I can't do that anymore. Yeah, that's right. Google what the muscles attached to the tailbone do. You are insane if you think that's evidence for evolution. It is not. You don't understand your anatomy at all. Okay, go ahead. Next question.
Super chat.
Okay, super chat. Pair character lifting some weights saying keep it up. Pair character, is that?
It's an emoji thing. He's saying good job.
Lifting weights, keep it up. Okay, thank you.
Couple more here.
Okay. I have a friend who raises kangaroos. He says business is hopping. Ha! I believe it. Okay. Why are you promoting Christianity using a video of Jeffrey Dahmer? Well, troll. Jeffrey Dahmer's dad sent him my videos, this series right here, to the prison. Jeffrey Dahmer watched the videos and got saved. Now, he was an evil person. He should have been punished for his crimes. But anybody can be saved. The Apostle Paul was a murderer before he got saved. King David was a murderer, committed adultery with his neighbor's wife, had her husband killed, and God used him. King David. Look, you can be a sinner, and all of us are. Dahmer was a really bad sinner. I don't know what all you've done in your life, but maybe it's as bad as Dahmer. I don't know. Maybe you just got by, but it doesn't matter. Dahmer, the Bible says, God so loved the world, whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. So Jeffrey's dad sent the video to the chaplain of the prison, I believe. Jeffrey watched him and gave his heart to the Lord and got saved. What is wrong with that? You say, what about the people he hurt? I know. What about the people you've hurt? What about the people I've hurt? Okay. I've read DAL's camping, but didn't see any information on a website concerning how to book or cabin or schedule some time. Can someone help me? Okay. Chocolate. Call 855-BIG-DINO.
D is 5.
D is extension 5. Just say, I want to come stay in a cabin. We got 25 cabin spaces you can stay in. We have 20 motorhome hookups if you want to come down with a motorhome. We got 140 acres if you just want to camp in a tent or sleep in a boat out on the lake or sleep in the lake. Okay. Plenty of room. Come on down. Literature, I've always said, is free. Come stay in a cabin. If you stay more than 2 days, though, we're going to put you on a project. Whole place been built by volunteers and donations, and it's been amazing watching it come together. Okay. Mays page. Do you think something about the flood caused the moon to start moving away from the earth? That's a tough one. The mass of the earth was totally readjusted during the flood when the water, well, not totally, but the water under the crust came to the top. The crust would sink in, causing the earth to spin a little faster. Like an ice skater, when they pull their arms in, they spin faster. Or when you're diving tuck tighter, you spin faster. So I think the earth picked up a little speed in spin because now the water's on top of the rock and the rock would sink in. That picking up the speed of the spin of the earth might affect the receding moon. We know the moon is leaving us about 1.5 inches a year. You're right. I don't know. I couldn't prove it, but I suspect it started at the flood, would be my answer. Okay?
Last one.
You think something about the flood? Oh, did that one? That's from me. Thank you, Dr. Hovind, for all you do. Well, appreciate it. Super chat, $20. Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate that. Come visit Dinosaur Adventure Land. It's free. What else you want? Cry, baby. You can come. We'll feature you right here on the program. You can cry for the whole world to see and give your evidence for evolution. We'd like to win you to the Lord. You think Dahmer was bad? You're denying God made the world. I think that's going to be pretty serious when you stand before God Judgment Day. All right. Thank you so much.